Hello, guys. Yeah, I hope it's okay now. So, what I'm gonna start with is to share my personal story, despite the other speakers. That was great. So, I'm gonna share with you some radical reframe storyline, which is about one life being. So, I started my career as an advertiser. Oh yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, it is, it is. It was so beautiful, you know? I started my advertising career when I was 18, right? And in 5 years, I became a creative director, which was super impressive. I was really well paid, and I was successful. I had a lot of friends, and I got a lot of parties, because it was my, party monster lifestyle. But on the other side, I was super impressed because I became to be a heavy drinker. Yeah, that's the other side of the story. But I wasn't expected to be this story so hard, right? Because when you realize something, when you do understand what's gonna be next, you can change your life. But I didn't understand that. I just, I was living my life like a rock star. I was like partying all the time, doing things that I wanted to do, woohoo! But in fact, I was losing myself, and that was the problem. So, as you can see, all these beautiful parties, yeah, they ended up with everything, with hospital. So on that day, I was just preparing another proposal for the client, and I had the research rehearsal to make things better, to have a big cool meeting, whatever. But suddenly I just faint, right? My colleagues were shocked. They were like, oh my gosh, what's wrong with you? Why you so what? They called the ambulance, and I ended up in hospital with a breaststroke condition. I was 28. Can you imagine that? 28 years old, breaststroke condition, after huge partying scenes. Yeah, that's me. And then I decided to change my mind completely. And I decided to change my life completely also. But the problem was that all these things were so chained between each other. So I didn't know where to start. Because if you take one part of your life and trying to, replace it with another, what you gonna do with the other ones, right? So I made a shift. I was living in Russia at that time, and Russians are really famous for crying in snow. So I came to Arctic and roared at North Atlantic Ocean, and I was screaming like, oh my God, please help me, how I can manage it, how I can start my new life, because it was really a good story for me. It was important. I had to do that. I didn't know how to start. But anyway, I just started. I list everything that I wanted to share with myself when I will be new one. And I shared that, of course, I want to be healthy. I want to be in healthy relationships. I want to be find a good work somewhere outside advertising, because advertising made me sick, literally. That's why, with this list, I came up to Moscow and decided to change my life completely. Suddenly, I met up with my fiancé, with my husband, and he told me that, yes, of course, you are surrounded with the good people. You have to change your life. Let's start. So we started together. He introduced me to his CrossFit community, his running community, his multi-athletes community. So I started running, and I started being a yacht move woman, because I always wanted to be a captain. And that was the story behind it. Everything, what I'm saying now, is easy, right? But when in that position, I understood that no, it wasn't so. It was super hard, because I had my previous colleagues, and they were like, toxic people speaking about everything that, oh no, of course you will not manage it. Of course you'll be back to the old you. of course, you will understand that these sports communities are not yours. Please be back. But I was sober, and I decided to change my life completely and said, no, 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 no. Now I'm going to the new work. Okay, they said, what are they gonna say? Of course, they said, you're too old for this. Yeah, it was so. Of course, they said, you will be less paid than right now. It's hard for you to start from scratch. But yes, I did it. Absolutely. I found the EdTech company, Refocus, yeah, to be honest, which were, super helpful, and they were super supportive. So I understood that I'm now surrounded with people who can understand me, who can help me if I need help, and they can give me something that I was not able to get in a previous life. Just a real friendship, because it's a real story. That was the point that came to me. What my friends said, of course, I did sports, right? Because I decided to be a multi-sports athlete. And the funny thing and annoying thing behind it was that, my previous colleagues said, you are so toxic. You doing sports so much. Oh, you are having a boy haircut. You got cancer? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's super toxic. Let's stop. So I ended up in a refocus with everything. And what I'm gonna tell you with this story bits was, tragic and fun at the same time. That if you want to reframe something, right? The radical reframe starts with you. And it starts with the basic stories. So first one, you have to line up everything, what's around you, and everything that you want to, change, right? And the second story, after this, you have to replace it with everything good, healthy, and new. And that's the key. And what about sports? Next. Yeah. Oh, wow. Finally, I became a multi-sports athlete. So I didn't know how to swim. I started from scratch, right? And this year at Bali, at Ocean Man, I swam my first 5K in the ocean. Now I'm a long-distance swimmer, thanks to me. Yeah. Thank you. Also, I ran in Istanbul, 15K as a runner, of course. Also, I've got my silver at a racing. It was a yachting competition. So I became the person I always wanted to, thanks to my fiancé, thanks to my beautiful refocus, because that's my super community that I love. So please, don't be afraid to refrain something. If you want to change your life, you have to change it completely as fast as you can, just by replacing things that you are finding toxic, not interesting, and not healthy enough for you right now. Thank you.